Hello, my name is Rita Kipp, and I'm with the League of Women Voters of Licking County, Ohio. Do you want a voice on issues at the national, state, and local level? If so, you need to vote, and that starts with registering to vote. Registering is the essential first step, but there are other steps on the way to making your voice heard. You'll need to commit to voting by making a plan for when and where you will vote, and by learning about the candidates and issues on your ballot. The third and most important step, follow through and actually vote. But let's start with that essential first step. You can register to vote as long as you're a citizen of the USA, will be 18 before November 3rd, and expect to be living in Ohio at least 30 days before the election. I urge you to register online today, just after viewing this presentation. It's easy. But first, I want to show you a website you should bookmark, vote411.org, because it's a resource you'll return to again and again. On its homepage here, the box Register to Vote will take you to a list of all the states to see if yours offers online voter registration. Well, I can save you that step. Ohio does offer online voter registration, and you can do it at olvr.ohiosos.gov. Be prepared to provide two forms of ID, driver's license or a state ID, and your Social Security number, at least the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. You'll see that the residential address, that is the place where you live, is a key piece of voter registration. Be sure your address is complete on the form and accurate. A P.O. box alone, if that's how you receive your mail, will not work for this. Once you are registered to vote, Vote 411 can help you make a plan to actually do it. It can help you anticipate what kind of ID you'll need to take to the polls, when the next election will be, and what candidates and issues you'll find on your ballot. It will help you know where you go to vote. Just as you provide your residential address for registering to vote, the Vote 411 website will ask for your residential address. Vote 411 publishes an online voter guide covering candidates in the presidential race as well as state and local races quite specific to your town. This guide is nonpartisan and unbiased. The League of Women Voters neither supports nor opposes any particular candidate or political party. All candidates in the same race are asked the same questions, and their answers are published exactly as they submit them. For example, this is how the voter guide looked for one of the races in Licking County in a recent primary. You can compare candidates side by side, their education, experience, and how they respond to the questions. Where you live also determines which polling place you must use on election day. If you show up to a polling place other than the one you've been assigned, you will be directed to leave and go to the correct location, or else vote on a provisional ballot. Those are extra hassles that no one needs, so it pays to know your assigned polling place. Remember, too, that Ohio offers early voting, usually starting about 28 days before each election. Early voting happens at your county's Board of Elections in most Ohio counties. So if you anticipate that you can't get to the polls on Election Day, make a plan to vote early instead. Whether you vote at the polls on Election Day or at your Board of Elections early, you'll be asked to show one form of identification. It has to have your address on it. So most people use their driver's license, but you can also use a utility bill or a paycheck. Notice though that a passport will not work for this because our passports do not have our addresses. In these uncertain times, it's hard to know whether we'll be able to vote in person. We could not in the 2020 primary because of the pandemic. Whether the polls will be open or not on Election Day, you may feel safer or just find it more convenient to vote by mail, as many people do. This is known in Ohio as absentee voting. Vote 411 will give notice about any change of plan for Election Day and help you apply to vote absentee, if that is your preference. If you do plan to vote absentee, I advise allowing at least 2 weeks ahead of the election because you must apply to vote absentee and then wait to receive your ballot in the mail and finally return it either by mail or in person. Do you want a voice in the presidential election? Well, who doesn't? Register to vote today and make Vote 411 your go-to source for election information. And good luck.